Show you how to get started on our 3D CAD software. So we go to Start Programs, and we are going to open up our software called Pro Desktop 8, which we call Pro D for short. Once the software opens up, we are going to go ahead and save this file. We have a little tip of the day which we can just close up. I'm going to maximize this window, and we're going to save this file. We go to File, and I'm sorry, we need to create a new drawing first, so we click on New Design here, and there's our new design. We can maximize that, and we're going to go to File, Save, and I'm going to save this in my tech folder, and I'm going to call it Extrusion. E-X-T-R-U-S-I-O-N, Extrusion. And you see our name up there. Okay, so the interface for Pro Desktop is pretty simple. It's a 3D software, so obviously it's got X, Y, and Z axis. So it's length, width, and height. Now there's a couple movements that we want to be aware of. First of all, if I hold down the mouse wheel and I move it around, my mouse that is, while I'm holding it down, it's going to move with me. If I go ahead over to the Tool menu, I can go ahead and we'll just create a rectangle. And I'm just going to move my tool right here, and I'm going to click and drag and just create a rectangle. Okay. And I'm going to click and drag my mouse wheel, press down my mouse wheel and move it around, and you can see that that moves around as well. Now if I want to shift things over, if I hold down the Shift key on my keyboard and I press that mouse wheel again, just pressing it down, not turning it or moving it forward and back, I'm still holding down the Shift key. I can move this all over the way I want it. If I want to zoom in and out, I can go ahead and press forward for zooming out and press toward me to zoom in. So it's a little bit different there. And again, Shift and move that over. Alright, there's a few buttons down here that allows me to do an auto fit. So if I hit this button here, it says Scales and Centers the scene, so you see it scales it, and then that one moves it in even closer. Okay, now one of the basic things that we do, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here, one of the basic things we do is to do what we call extrusion. So the extrusion is when we come up over here to select faces. Whoop, sorry about that, go back here. The extrusion model is when we go back here, down here to the bottom. These are the different movements or rotations. So we're going to create an extrusion, and when I click that button, the extrusion profile comes up. Now I can do a certain distance. I'm going to add material above the work plane, and I can say, well, let's make this 5 inches tall. So you can see I just clicked 5 in, and it gives me this kind of a transparent box and shows me what it's going to look like. Or I can close that out, and I can do it freehand by clicking and dragging this little yellow box here with my mouse. So if you don't really need an exact measurement, you can do that and then click OK. And you see we have a box. Now to turn this around, I hold my mouse position or my mouse wheel and I just keep on twisting it. So that's pretty basic there. I'm going to save this up, and that is how we create a 3D shape. Now in order to put some profiles to it, some roundovers and some what we call chamfers, we go over here to Select Edge, and again, if you look down here where it says Ready, when you mouse over the tool it tells you what it's going to do. So it says use this tool for selecting edges. So I select the edge, I'm going to select the front edge here, front top edge. So now you can see that that is red when I select it. I'm going to go down here to the round select edges, so right down there, and I can put a certain radius like 0.5 inches, and it gives me a nice round over. I click OK, and there's my round over. Now if I go ahead and select edges again, I'm going to select this top edge right there. Actually, let's select the opposite edge. There we go. I'm going to select the chamfer button. That's the one right next to round over, and I'm going to make a 0.5 inch setback, Click OK, and there you have a chamfer. You can see it's an angled cut on the end. And then you would just continue in this fashion, selecting the different edges, and there you go. See if we can get a round over on this one. 0.5. Now what that's going to do is it's going to create a round over on the adjacent edge as well, because I had already rounded over that. Do the same thing over here. This one might be a little bit different because... Oh, it is. Okay. Well, that's looking pretty good. And if I want to make these edges here, I believe if you hold down the Control key, or the Shift key rather, it will select both edges for you, and then you can create a chamfer with both of them. Maybe not. Yep, it did. There we go. So again, that was holding down Shift, and that created a pretty cool looking shape. Okay. Now, here's the fun part. If I click the little smiley face, it'll tumble the model. And so as this spins around, I take a really cool look at it and look at all the edges. And if I just click again with my mouse, I can spin it around here manually. Zoom in, zoom out with the mouse wheel, press the mouse wheel and turn it, and then I can zoom in and out. And of course, to slide it over, I can hit Shift and press my mouse wheel, and there you go. Okay, that is how we create a very basic extrusion.